Welcome. Today I'm sharing what happens when a religious machine protects itself instead of protecting children. Pieter Wessels grew up on a ranch in South Africa, got married in 1878, and had 7 children. He wasn't an educated man. The SDA Encyclopedia tells us he had little schooling. He made his living by supplying milk and vegetables to the diamond mining communities in Kimberley. He discovered the Sabbath in 1885, and before long, he made contact with the SDA sect and became a member. One more thing about Pieter. Diamonds were discovered on his family's land. Pieter had money. He was wealthy. The kind of wealth that funds institutions. The kind of wealth that gets you ordained in record time. Despite his lack of any ministerial training, within 5 years of joining the sect, he had a ministerial license. By 34, he was ordained. Why the fast track? Because when you're a wealthy donor, doors open. 7 years into his ministry, reports begin surfacing. Disturbing reports. Reports about young women, about girls. We don't have the full record. Conveniently, much of the correspondence is gone, locked away, destroyed by mysterious fires. Who knows? But one letter survives, and it's explosive. When Ellen White gets wind of the abuse, she fires off a letter to Pieter. Ellen White calls what he did a crime in the sight of God. She calls it sodomitish sin. She describes girls' bodies being handled. She says he tampered with them. That's not flirtation. That's abuse. He tried the classic predator defense. I didn't go all the way. She didn't buy it. She called it adultery. She said he corrupted the youth. So far, we're on the same page with Mrs. White. But now, watch carefully. His ministerial license had already been revoked locally. Civil prosecution was a real possibility. A public confession would have been extremely beneficial. It would have warned families in the community. It would have protected other girls. Pieter even offered to confess publicly. Instead, the prophet steps in, not to ensure justice, but to contain the damage. You ask me if you shall make a public confession, I say no. Seriously? Look what she wrote to him. Do not dishonor the master. Do not give publicity to this matter by any means. It would do injustice to the whole cause of God. Read that again. Her greatest concern is about bad publicity. The cause must be protected. And by the cause, she meant the reputation of the SDA Corporation. It would devastate the corporation's chances for success in South Africa. If people were to find out, it would enrage them. The SDA sect would be more hated than it already was. It's likely that members would leave. That meant tithe money would diminish. It could ruin their entire work in South Africa. They'd no longer be able to convert other Christians to Seventh-day Adventism. And then comes the line that should make every father's blood run cold. Defile not the lips, even by communicating this to your wife. Don't tell your wife. Don't tell the woman sharing your bed. Don't tell the mother of your children. Keep her in the dark. So the wife lives in ignorance. The congregation lives in ignorance. The community lives in ignorance. Ellen White's instruction keeps everyone in ignorance, unaware of the danger. The wife can't make informed decisions about the safety of her children. The church can't make informed decisions about the safety of children at church. An abuser who isn't held publicly accountable or monitored by the community is statistically much more likely to reoffend. It's a good thing for Ellen White she didn't live in our time. Today, it's a felony to intentionally conceal a crime of abuse against a child. And the girls? They learn that the cause is more valuable than they are. It's all about the cause. There's no justice for the girls because the cause might be harmed. They have to live with the silent shame of what happened. The highest authority in the sect, the so-called spirit of prophecy, is more concerned about reputational fallout than the trauma felt by the girls. That goes beyond abuse. It's a textbook example of institutional betrayal, and it cuts deeper than the original wound. This is organizational narcissism. When a corporation believes its mission is so vital that it justifies the sacrifice of children to ensure its survival. Then comes a line that is almost unbearable. Any youth who would submit her body to be handled by a man is in no way fit for the kingdom of heaven. That's not prophetic clarity. That's shifting blame back onto the victims. The girls are now spiritually suspect. She treats them as collateral damage. Her primary concern isn't the victims or their shattered lives. Her concern is for the cause, for the corporate reputation. Her concern is about not losing a huge corporate donor. But we're not done. Ellen White sends conference president Asa Robinson a copy of the letter. Not to pursue justice, not to alert authorities. What's the reason stated in the letter? To keep the matter as private as possible. Robinson, to his credit, defied Ellen White and informed Wessels' mother. When Wessels finds out his mama knows his dirty deeds, he's upset because he was exposed. He writes back complaining to Mrs. White about the exposure. He apparently expected her to hush the matter up completely. And what does the prophet say? I am sorry that you feel injured. If it is added to your affliction, I am sincerely sorry. Sorry for his affliction. Sorry that exposure hurt him. Sorry the matter wasn't completely hushed up. Where's the sorrow for the girls? She's begging Pieter for forgiveness, hoping he won't shut off the money for her Australian ventures. 3 years later, this same uneducated man, the same man whose credentials were revoked for abusing young women, a man their own prophet called a practitioner of sodomitish sin, he's elected to a conference executive position in the SDA Corporation, promoted, elevated to a position of trust. Let's not pretend money was irrelevant to the SDA Corporation. Wessels was a major donor. He funded projects. He had influence. He had leverage. And here's the bottom line. When a religious movement chooses reputation over children, it forfeits all moral authority. You can preach Sabbath. You can preach health reform. You can preach the three angels' messages. But if you silence victims to protect the cause, you aren't reflecting Christ. You're not even Christian. You're protecting a corporation. And corporations don't bleed. Girls do.